the medicine woman.
Hi guys, welcome to this video. It's Ashel Everyday, your medicine woman here. And this video is very specific. Obviously, you don't need to be in an abusive situation, but like this video is for people in abusive situations or in toxic relationships. And this is how you can survive that using the Grey Rock method. I just said method. That's crazy. My Nigerian accent just popped out. The Grey Rock method. So a technique it's a technique that teaches you to kind of emotionally detach from toxic people and make yourself basically uninteresting to just avoid conflict and manipulation. The reason I've said this and made this for people in toxic relationships or abusive cycles or abusive relationships is because oftentimes confronting and fighting your abuser head on is so exhausting. It's such an exhausting process, and it's something that a lot of people do not win. So if you start with the Grey Rock method, it's not always it is the most effective that I've seen, but it's not going to work in every scenario. But it's something you can try just so that you can kind of live in these situations and not engage with the abuser, who most likely may be either have narcissistic qualities or overall just kind of just like take pleasure in you being emotionally like destroyed by them. So if you don't give them that emotional supply, they might leave you alone, and overall they will just overall lose interest in you because you're not giving them supply. So when to use the Grey Rock method. So, when dealing with manipulative people, narcissists, or toxic family members, it's so useful in those situations. I would not use it with people you love or care about because that is toxic, and because it may even indicate some kind of behavior that is like associated maybe with like maybe silent treatment, which is abusive, which people should not do. Actively communicating with people that you love and care about is what is needed. Silent treatment is not healthy. But overall, um in workplace or relationship settings or where confrontation is just unsafe, it is perfect. And obviously sometimes everyone is like, oh, become more confrontational. As someone who is naturally confrontational because I'm Nigerian, but then cannot be confrontational to people, for example, who are older, or in my culture sometimes men, it can be difficult in situations when someone with a lot of power is in play and you cannot disrespect them because you have fear of your life, or you're just over at fear overall, like your living situation or things where this person has structurally more power than you do, whether it's in age, whether it's in gender, or whether it's an overall just like the dynamic within that relationship, financial. You should definitely make use of the Grey Rock method. I think it's perfect. So this is how to apply it effectively. So I would say start with keeping responses minimal. Hi, how are you? Yeah, my day is fine. Do not engage in any way. Be very dull. Like, try copying my facial expressions. This is perfect. Dull, emotionally neutral. And this is going to be very difficult for you. I'm a Cancer Moon. If you're a very emotional person, but one of the reasons I love that I can talk to this camera, you can kind of, if you don't have to talk to a camera, practice conversations. And people make me look like I'm crazy, like I'm a mad person, but this has helped me so much in kind of overall, not only being eloquent to speak in front of a camera, but overall just like being able to kind of overall just like be in practice situations that could happen or could not happen. Sometimes it's my anxiety and the situations could never happen. But sometimes they do come up and I'm able to say the things I want to say because I practice beforehand. So kind of practice keeping those responses minimal, being dull, emotionally neutral. I think practicing will help. Another way, avoid engaging in arguments or defending yourself or reacting emotionally. For those of us who have been victims of abuse or who have CPTSD or whatsoever, avoiding engaging in these things, we engage in arguments not so even to kind of just like prove we're right, more so to kind of prove that we're worth, prove our validity. My friend Cece Jacobson, she's gonna watch my videos eventually, and I hope that she sees how much I love her because I even reference her in so many of them. Is she says that I said so. Get into that I said so. You don't have to say it out loud because like you're in a B2B situation. Like get into that mentality of being like, I'm this because I said so, I'm this because I said so, and not necessarily having to like have a grandiose sense of self to kind of prove your worth. Just be that I exist, I'm here, and I'm worth my life. I'm worth respect. You know what I mean? So because you know that, you don't have to prove it to anyone. So live in that kind of like understanding and appreciation of yourself. And then you won't feel the need to be like, I need to defend myself. You don't have to defend yourself. This isn't the stand in the jury or whatever. This is not anywhere where you have to improve yourself. The next step I would say is maintaining boundaries while prioritizing your mental health. So one of the boundaries I would always say you should do, I mentioned this in videos, you don't have to be close to anybody. Not even the person who brought you to this world, like through their womb. Not even the person who inseminated for that person. You don't have to be close to anybody. Your closeness is something that is so sacred and something that you should only reserve for people who have earned it. People who have earned the right to be close to you, people who have earned the right to hear your dreams, people who have earned the right to be close to you. One thing I love about my culture that I really appreciate, I remember when Halle Bailey, for example, when she was pregnant, and everyone was being like, oh, how come she didn't tell us about her baby? She was pregnant. It's like, you don't have a fucking right to that. I hate to swear, but you don't have the fucking right to that. You don't have the fucking right to be close to any single person. So for you, and the thing is, on social media, people actually demand that closeness. You don't fucking have the right. And the thing about as someone who makes content on social media, we can decide to show you what the fuck we want to show you and what the fuck we don't want to show you. So at the end of the day, we get to choose that. So even within your own interpersonal relationships, look at it like that. You can choose what you want to show and what you don't want to show people. Like for me, there are many ways in which I am extremely vulnerable, and there are many ways in which I'm not, or many ways in which I've been in the past, and I do not want to be anymore. I have a right to that boundary. I have a right to decide what it is I want to say. I have the right to kind of say whatever it is I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it. So take that power back really, truly by understanding the kind of needs and the kind of thing that I'm sorry, getting a lot of notifications. The kind of needs you want from someone, and then understanding that if they cannot provide that, they don't have to be close to you. And you can, for me, I have tiers of friendship. If you haven't, and it's for me, there are many people that I who say I'm friends with, but it's pending. Like we're friends, question mark. It's like you have to do a bit more to become a close friend or a best friend or whatever. But for those who have earned it, they've earned the closeness. And then they've earned the closeness I decide to give them. Sometimes you keep things to yourself. So when you maintain these boundaries, you will not have to, you can also lie. You don't have to tell anyone anything. You don't know anyone anything. Maybe if your religion is okay not to lie, or I know some people who are autistic and they don't feel like they don't have to lie, then you just don't tell them. So when you maintain these boundaries, you will prioritize your mental health and you will keep things short, and you will not feel the need to engage with them because what they want is engagement. It's why they come on social media. They do things to get engagement and they do things to get supply. Don't give them that supply. These are the limitations of the Grey Rock method. Sorry. These are the limitations of the Grey Rock method. So it's not a long term solution. You have to find a way to exit the situation as soon as possible. Although sometimes my video is not available for people who are like under 18, but on YouTube, I always put my age older. So there's a likelihood someone younger is watching this. And you don't need to it could be 7 years, it could be 8 years, it could be 10 years. But the issues, it could never be long term. You can never be in a long term situation with this person because you are not safe. For me, the most important things I look for in friendships, most between relationships, because I date men, is safety. If I don't feel safe emotionally, physically, sexually, I cannot be with you. And you need to do the same. Even if it is parental, whatever, you need to feel safe. If you don't feel safe, then you cannot be close to them and you cannot live with them and you need to create plans and create what's it called to leave that situation. It's never going to be long term. The Grey Rock method can never last forever because what happens when they get bored and they kick you out? It cannot last forever. You need to be making plans towards leaving this person. And I think it's perfect for those who are in abusive situations because with these things, I think people are always like, for example, those who don't have CPTSD or have a history of trauma or don't know what it's like to be in abusive relationships, they say leave, leave, leave. But like For me, I understand because you have to leave when you're ready. People struggle to leave these relationships, and whether it is for things like Stockholm syndrome, whatever, trauma bonding, whatever, I don't know exactly what it is. It's different for everybody. But you need to leave these situations when you're ready and when you're able to do so. And the Grey Rock method is perfect to prepare you to leave. And if you then cannot leave that situation, then there's no point of you even doing the gray. If you then don't want to leave the situation, I mean, there's no point of you then doing the gray rock method in the first place, because it's like you're stalling for what. So use this to prepare yourself to leave the situation. And it overall, they could leave you alone, but if you depended on them, this is the time to start looking for ways to kind of be dependent, looking for other sources of validation, other sources of, this is the time to look for other ways to feel safe. It's also emotionally exhausting. So as you're doing this, practice self-care and practice replacement. I would say the replacement method is so important in the sense where I've mentioned a method kind of come up with. The replacement method is so perfect because you can then start, if they are a source of validation, they're a source of security, a source of safety, you can then replace it with other things or other people. So when you do that, you will be less exhausted and you will not have them be not only the center of your experience, the center of your life. It's important that you understand that the Grey Rock method has limitations. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you supporting. I appreciate you also coming to support me, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Comment pink hearts at the end as well, and subscribe to my Patreon. Um, what do you say? So please turn on the notifications, like and comment, and yeah, it's Asha Lovely Day telling you to have a lovely day.